Today, I'm going to be explaining every single update on the Loverfella server from the month of April. From crates to prices to new ways to make money, it's all going to be in this video. And if you guys want to know about a specific topic, there's going to be timestamps in the description, but I highly suggest you watch the entire video because you could really learn something new. So to start off, we're going to talk about the Black Magician. This was the NPC corresponding to the Magic Crate, where you could buy 13 custom skinned items that you could place all around your base. To get one of every single item, it would cost you 795 L-Bucks or $61,000. And that's honestly super cheap because some of these items can be used in amazing ways to enhance your base. The first item is this gem bench thing, and honestly, I don't see too many uses for it. It does look cool, but these gems relate in no way to Minecraft, so it can't really be placed in a setting like that. But it can be used as sort of trophies, so just place it around in a room or something as decoration. The second item is a witch rat, which is holding an animated wand. This again doesn't have too many uses, but it can be placed maybe in a corner or just in a dark area, since it's sort of like a rat, a mouse. It's sort of supposed to be a little bit creepy and stuff like that. After that, we have the owl, which I think is going to be used in a lot of ways, especially up in trees. This can be used on trees, on roofs, at the end of chimneys, on little branches, literally sticking on the ground. It can be used in so many ways just to enhance it, since it's going to look like a different animal than vanilla Minecraft and give it sort of like, hey, what's that up in the tree? You got a talking topic with this item. The fourth item is going to be this crystal ball. It's not really a ball as much as a square, so this doesn't have much of a use except for, again, another decoration. Just place it in a room on like a bedside table and it will work out like that. Then we have some old rustic scrolls, really well detailed. They look almost like cinnamon rolls or whatever, but in terms of them actually being used, it's really just going to be used in sort of work areas or desks. Then we have this sort of bureau thing, which is too old to have in like a modern, sleek concrete build. But if you're making like a woodland cottage, this is really gonna look nice if you just throw it in like a dining room or in like the back room, guest room again. Most of these items are gonna be used just to decorate those extra rooms you have. Then we have this sort of lectern, and if it's a lectern, you know, it can be used in a lot of ways, but it's mainly going to probably be used in like some church or religious area as sort of like a podium to stand behind if you're giving a speech or saying something important. Maybe I'll use it in future videos when we're talking about stuff. After that, we have a really unique and well animated item, and that is this sort of like book with butterflies flying out of it. And I think it's super cool, but I don't entirely know how it can be used. Maybe if you have sort of a greenhouse, you can place this on like a table next to some flower pots with flowers in them and sort of just stuff like that. I'd say that's probably the best way to use this item. After that, we have two types of mushrooms, some brown mushrooms and some red mushrooms. These two mushrooms can really be used anywhere just to add a little bit more detail to a yard, or maybe you have some moss growing up a side of a building and you can just place some of these mushrooms down at the bottom or on the wall and pretend like it's growing off. Mainly, I'll probably use it for if I do any sort of like swamp or dark oak forest, since it can be used to add a little bit more color to those things. And the final item is this sort of croissant looking thing. It's a piece of bread, and basically you can eat this item 50 times and it will give you the same amount of health. And I think that's pretty cool. It's basically infinite food, but not actually infinite food. I would love to actually see them make infinite food, or like something that has like 300 uses and it costs like $100,000 or something, probably more than that, but you know, something like that. I think that would be super cool. So our next update from the month of April is a couple price changes, mainly crying obsidian and blaze rods. First, crying obsidian was added to the shop for $300 per a block. I think that's super expensive, but again, it's an item that you use for detail, not massive builds. So you just stick with obsidian and then you add some crying obsidian to add a little bit more color. And then the blaze rods used to sell for $5.50, but now sell for $6.55. This makes it almost equal to magma cream in selling. And this also now means if you use a looting 3 sword, you can make an hourly earning of around $550,000, including the lucky gems you would get, or $200,000 to $240,000 per an hour if you're just selling the blaze rods. That is a significant amount and definitely makes it one of the better grinders to use. And that's the main reason I'm starting to invest a little bit of money, so I can get you guys a public one where you get every single drop. So hopefully I'll have that done in the next month or so. because it's just getting like 8 more spawners and then I'll have it all. I'll drop the coordinates in the description so you guys can check it out whenever you want. So speaking of blaze spawners, you might have seen that there is a lot more in the economy right now, and that is because the nether and the overworld were reset. So I actually went raiding and I got about 10 blaze spawners and I think 4 magma spawners. So that's pretty decent. Sadly, there's probably no more spawners in the nether, but what you can get from the nether is the gold ore. So if you're a new player, you can mine that up, and I think it was make about $100,000 per an hour from just mining gold in the nether. But if you're an end player and you want to utilize this new reset, you can also grab a treasure hunter pickaxe and go ahead and mine those ores, since they do work. So that is literally like the fastest way to get runes, from just RTPing to the nether and mining them up. And then the resource world also reset. And what this means is basically if you do /resource world, you will now be teleported into a completely brand new world where you can mine and gather resources. The main way you can make money from this reset is literally by doing /resource world and mining straight down. Then if you stumble across a spawner, you can mine that and sell it for its designated cost. You can find skeleton, cave spider, and zombie spawners. If you don't find one once you mine down to say like Y0 or whatever, then you're going to want to do /home, go back to that home, and do /resource world again. Since there's no cooldown on a resource world, you can just do that infinitely, mine straight down. If you run into spawners or a mine shaft, mine those spawners. If not, /home, /resource world, mine down, and then just rinse and repeat until you mine all the spawners for that day. Also, an item from the magic update, the Medusa stone from the magic crate, has now been tweaked and fixed, so it no longer works in areas where PvP is disabled, like spawn, your claims, and like any warps. So I think /warp arena or whatever, it no longer works there, and that's going to be really helpful so people can no longer troll and spawn by freezing you and stopping you from being able to do anything. Honestly, I'll admit it, I was one of those people. I found it super funny, but sadly it only works now in places where PvP are enabled. So if you still want it to happen to you, just enable PvP in your claim. And the final 2 updates from the month of April are the pastry and candy crate. So I'm sorry that I didn't actually cover these. I'll have a video in a couple weeks explaining why I didn't, but basically I just got sick of covering crates. But now it is time to actually take a look at the crate, and I'll give you my opinion on some of the best items. Starting off with the pastry crate, there is a total of 9 skin-dexed items in this crate, and I think about 11 total since there's an elytra, armor, and some claim chunks. My 3 favorite items are definitely the brownie bow, the pickaxe, and the cookie shield. So the main reason I love the bow so much is literally just because of its look. It's a very clean and simple look, but they didn't just make a brown bow. They actually added some texture and detail to it, and just the colored sprinkles. Simple, elegant, but very nice looking. And then we have the pickaxe, which is the exact opposite. There was so much detail put into making this item. There's so many different pieces of bread, so many different colors, so many different textures, and so many different angles, all of which aren't too harsh. Like the croissant on the top is super simple, super easy, and makes a lot of sense. But overall, the detail and color and just how much time it must have taken to design this item makes it one of my top 3 from this crate. And then the cookie shield. The color is a little bit weird. When I first saw it, I thought it was literally smushed poop and it was going to be some weird crate name, but it turned out to be a cookie. And now looking at it a little bit closer, it makes perfect sense. It has a beautiful golden glow, and the chocolate chips could have been a little bit darker brown or maybe a little bit of a darker black, but I think they still look very nice, and it doesn't cover your entire body. You can still see a bit of your face when you're blocking with this item, and that's exactly what I look for in these custom shields we see in crates. And then for the other 6 items in this crate, we have 2 helmets, a muffin, and a cream puff sort of hat looking thing. Both of those look really nice. And then we have the sword, which is detailed and does have an animation, but it's just not as clean looking as the pickaxe in my opinion. But again, it's definitely a really nice looking one. Then we have a hoe, which is like some honey swirls. I'm thinking maybe it's like some cinnamon rolls or something. It's a simple look, but it has some nice colors to it. Then we have the axe, which is almost like this little bite tree. I'm not quite sure what they're called, but it has a nice little cute face on it. I think that's a nice touch. And then we have a shovel, which is almost like a little cracker or like something that just has some strawberries and whipped cream on the side. And I think the strawberries and whipped cream add a lot of color to it, so well done. And now it's time for the candy crate. We're gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna say a couple of my favorite items. This time though, it's going to be 4 because the candy crate has 10 items total. So for 4th place for my favorite item in this crate is going to be the shovel, which is literally a lollipop surrounded in sort of like a plastic wrap. I think the plastic wrap looks super cool, super nice, and I think it was an amazing touch. They even added some of the little strands, you know, when you tie something up, how there's little bits coming out of the bottom, and that was some pretty nice attention to detail. Overall, like the color and the clearness is probably why I loved it so much. One of the 3 helmets is this like ear helmet, and my favorite part about it is probably just the color. The purple, the pink, the blue, it all works really well together, and just wearing it looks very, very nice around like anybody's head. I think probably especially mine since it matches with the colors of my skin, but I think it's a nice clean look compared to some of the other helmets in this crate. We have another helmet for this crate, and this is an upside down ice cream cone. Unlike the summer crate I think it was from last season, this one is actually animated and isn't just like a lump of ice cream. There's color to it. They have sprinkles, they have jimmies, they have a chocolate covered ice cream cone, they have strawberry ice cream that has like 7 different colors inside of it. The attention to detail is really why I love this so much, and the fact that it has an animation is like a bonus to me. And then my favorite item in the candy crate is the pickaxe. It is so rainbow and colorful, all the patterns, the different shades, the sleek design, the curls of the sugar that probably were wound around this item, and I think they did an amazing job on it. I think my favorite part is definitely the detail, but if I was to say a few things I don't like about it, is definitely like that black spot in the top side of the pickaxe. It just sort of seems unnecessary, and it would have almost been better to have like a red or a green thing sticking out of it, but still it is an amazing item, and all the colors and detail just again amazing, beautiful. And then there are the other 6 items. So first we have a bow, which is just a very simple purple, blue, and yellow. There's not much entirely detail to this, which is why it wasn't my favorite. And then we have a peanut brittle axe. This golden color is very nice, very simple, and I think it fits well overall with the theme of the crate. Then we move on to the sword. This was definitely 5th place for my favorite item in the crate, but when you actually look at the item, the detail is like almost not there. It's not very 3D, it's just like a slab of color, and they tried to add texture by adding different colors, but you just don't get that sort of feeling when you're holding it in your hand. Then we have the fishing rod of the crate, which is like those candy necklaces. I always used to wear them and eat them, so this is quite a nice look, but I almost wish it had like a little bit more saturation to it, like just the slightest bit more color and oomph, just a little. After that, we have the crate's hoe, which is almost like dark and magical, not as much candy and sweet, so that kind of threw me off when I first saw this item, but it still does look super amazing. I wish it was animated. If this thing was animated, it would probably be insane. But the final item in this crate is this cat ears helmet. It's very similar to how it's going to go on either side, but just because I don't like cat ears that much, that wasn't one of my favorite. The detail is pretty nice overall. I think it was a nice one, and some people are going to really love to wear it if they have like a e-girl skin or something, but personally me, I don't know. I'm going to stick with the dragon head because dragons are cooler than kittens. But yeah, guys, that is everything that was updated in the month of April, and this is probably how a lot of updates are going to be covered on the channel from now on. Again, a video will be posted in like a couple weeks explaining a little bit more about why this is happening. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Consider leaving a like, consider subscribing, and like always, have a great day.